Like I said, this is a good segue, the previous session, and I'm going to start with talking about innovations that we've already seen, and quite a few of them in the rural areas. Our own, for instance, the venue ITC, ITC e-Chaupal comes to mind when you talk about innovations. You think about Hindustan Lever doing those small sachets for shampoo dispensing, and then you think about what the mobile service providers have done using e-wallets. But rather than talking about all of those where I would only be a witness, I thought I'll talk to you about something which I have been associated with for the last 6 years. It's a company called Rural Shores, which 6 of us promoted in the year 2008 with the express intention of taking jobs to rural educated youth in villages. And these are villages which we choose tier 6, 7. If Kolkata is tier 1, then you can imagine tier 6 and 7. Possibly the same play areas as Mr. Ghosh with his Bandhan would do. If you can play the first video, please.
So when I was working at the previous company, it was a European IT BPO company heading up their operations. We were setting up the centers in the metros and recruiting nearly about 500 people a month into the BPO. And we had a challenge in finding the talent in the city, so I was sending my recruitment team to the small villages and towns, getting the graduates from there and employing them into the cities. When I saw this, I thought if the people can do the job, why bring the people to the jobs? Why can't bring the jobs to the people where they are and provide sustainable employment? So the client perception initially was, does it really work? But today it's got changed after having proven to them successfully this nearly about 40 different processes doing for 25 different clients. They perceive a value in associating with an organization like Rural Shores, not only to downstream the process work to the rural BPOs for the cost savings, but also leverage the centers that these rural BPOs have to reach out to their consumers in the markets.
The center provides jobs to young youth who would have otherwise worked in farmlands, who would have gotten into the garment industry, or would have most likely just stayed home. The center also provides opportunities to young women who have migrated back to the center from cities like Bangalore and are now finding this a more sustainable way of life.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ನನ್ನ ಪಿ ಜಿ ರೆಂಟು ನನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನಿಯರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ಮನಿನ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
So the kind of organizations who downstream this work are retail, transport, banking, insurance, and telecom, which actually have loads of volumes of data processing and voice processing happens, and also the government.
We're expecting the growth to continue to build over the next 4 years. To 2017, there being around 35,000 as a conservative estimate of the volume that we're going to achieve.
So why did we create Rural Shores? These are the 4 pillars on which Rural Shores is actually built. Like I explained, it is to provide employment to rural educated youth who otherwise would have had to migrate to cities in search of jobs. Obviously, rural is the new oil, as somebody said in the previous session. So we want to be pioneers in that field. We also felt that the rural youth had huge potential in terms of building on the skills that they've learned. It's not just the college education, but also the opportunity to do something in the knowledge area, which they've done successfully. I can explain to you some of the astonishing things that the villagers do. I'll just give one example. In one of the villages in Tamil Nadu, we were tasked by a British company to create synopsis of patent applications. So the idea was that patents which have been given, and they would come in multiple languages, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and so on. And we had to translate them into English and create a synopsis which they will put on their website for people who are interested in looking at it. So this is done by villagers. This is done by engineering graduates whom we have hired and placed in one of our centers in a village in Tamil Nadu. Oh, I think they're telling me to hurry up. So we have 20 operational centers now in 10 states. We have 2,500 people employed, out of which 45% are women. And you know how difficult it is to get women in villages to come and work. But clearly there is a huge level of interest in getting monthly salaries. So people are coming and working at our rural show centers. And we have, the leading names in India who are partnering with us in outsourcing jobs to us. The second video, please.
मैं सर पंचाल अमित और मैं पिछले 1.5 साल से यहाँ रूरल सोसाइटी में काम कर रहा हूँ। रूरल जो मेरे चेहरे पे हंसी देखी आप देख रहे हो वो रूरल सोर्स की वजह से है।
My dream of working companies at Bangalore has been fulfilled here. Here I have time for my professional and personal life as well.
In my village, nobody knows who I am, but now everybody knows who I am. I am helping to my mom because of my father was not there. My father was expired at the last 2004. My mother doing farmer. My sister, I have one younger sister. She's doing SSC. I am helping her to educate.
ಮನೇಲಿ ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಯಿತು. ಅಂದರೆ ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ದುಡಿಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಆದರೆ
I'm happy to work here. This is my base, that is foundation, and main advantage was we can be with our parents.
So you can see it has created a lot of social impact, and one of the things that I would like you to leave with you is in each one of our centers we employ about 200 people on an average. And you can imagine if after all their expenses they're able to save at least 1,000 rupees a month. That means 2 lakh rupees in a village every month is what the disposable income is. And we expect that this will act like a magnet for all the financial institutions to come in and create a lot of economic growth and also help people manage their wealth. All the Ponzi schemes that they talked about is mainly because people have exploited the lack of knowledge of financial instruments of these simple village folk. But having wealth, disposable wealth there will enable the mutual fund organizations, banks and all to come there and to help them, educate them financially. So a brief thing on lessons. It's not easy to set up infrastructure in tier 6 or 7 village. Power is a problem, telecommunications is a problem. But we are hopeful that with the new focus of every government, which is really in rural areas, they'll be able to improve our infrastructure, which is quite abysmal right now, to a level where clients can actually feel confident about outsourcing critical processes to the hinterland. But it's very satisfying to do this. All of us have a great amount of satisfaction in not just creating employment for people, but also positively affecting the family. So by employing about 2,500 people, we have actually impacted 10,000 people. It is transformational. You just have to visit these villages to see how women who come and work here, and when they go back, what kind of respect they actually get. And you can understand this only in the context of a village, tier 6 or 7. It is very empowering for the people working there. This is true in financial inclusion, not just creating accounts in banks which are not going to be funded, but by putting money in the pockets of these people, they can actually go to the bank and deposit money. And what, like I've said, we are discovering constantly that rural folk are as capable as their urban counterparts. It's just that the lack of opportunity which has kept them there. And I think this is something which I would like to leave with you. You have something which you can outsource to in each one of your organizations. So talk to us. We are available on the net, ruralshores.com. Thank you for listening.